Now you can enjoy the happiness of the holidays for the next 6 months by paying less and making more money by getting 180 days of picks from your favorite handicapper at a huge discount. This limited time Christmas special gives you a 90-day all-access pass with a handicapper of your choice at WagerTalk.com, plus an additional 90 days of all-access passes at no additional cost, an $849 value. This comes out to just under $5 per day, includes all sports released and any 5% best bets, normally priced at $35 each. Your access with your handicapper will cover NFL through the Super Bowl, college football through the national championship, any NBA and NHL action, including playoff games played during access and the start of the MLB season. Plus, if your handicapper does UFC, soccer, tennis, or any sport, yep, it's included. Happy holidays from everyone at WagerTalk.
Welcome, everybody, to the last Wager Talk Today show of 2021. I am your host, Lawrence Presman. Teddy is... What are you, Teddy?
The co-host.
Yeah,
That's how
baby.
It works when we show up every day.
I know, dude. I just like starting with you. Teddy is the co-host, the partner, the man who makes me better. What a show we got, dude. 3 guys. Rob Veno right off the top. He's looking at Arkansas, Penn State, Cincinnati, and Alabama, the semifinals today. Adam Trigger, both semifinal games. He's going to look at the Georgia-Michigan, the Cincinnati-Alabama game, and Andy Lang's got 3 NFL prop bets for us. Brother, what did you learn last night in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Well, there's a couple of things. First, we got to respond to some comments right off the bat. Starchild in the chat right now saying that Tennessee was the bad beat yesterday. Mike Campbell responding, you didn't see how Pitt didn't cover 3.5, way more of a bad beat. I'm on Campbell for this one, although if you had Tennessee on the money line, that was pretty brutal. But the Vols didn't have a chance to cover the point spread, whereas Pitt was covering the point spread and then perhaps winning the game instead. A long pick 6 sends Spartans backers home happy. So I appreciate the comments, Starchild and Mike Campbell. In terms of what I learned yesterday, I got to tell you, Prez, I had a stress dream on Tuesday night about my SiriusXM radio show, Cover It, with Teddy Covers on the Sports Grid Network on channel 159. Because normally I record that on Friday, it goes on Saturday. We have to do it early. Normally we go on Thursday, and it plays over the weekend. But because of the scheduling nuances this week, all of a sudden it's like on Wednesday you got to do it. And I'm like, how do I do these shows? I don't know. I had this huge stress dream on Tuesday night. I didn't have any guests lined up. Prez, you filled in, and you were great. I actually enjoyed hanging out with you for like 40 minutes or so, which is very rare. And then I had my buddy Bill on from back in the day. And we told a bunch of gambling stories, and that was kind of fun, too. So if you like Prez and I every day, check out the Cover It with Teddy Covers podcast, where you listen to it live on SiriusXM channel 159.
And you know what, guys? I think you'll actually enjoy it because it's a role reversal. Teddy actually asks the questions, and I actually break the games down and provide some betting strategy. So for the people who think all I talk about is crap, maybe they should listen to that show. Speaking of crap, Teddy, well, first I just want to say, Josh D., I read all your comments. Please email customer service. You're 100% right. It's inexcusable. Email customer service. Teddy, before we bring Rob Veno in, I've been thinking.
I thought I smelled smoke.
You a porn guy? Like, can you
Not
name
much, no.
3 porn actresses?
Oh, not anymore. No. I can name some from back when I used to watch porn in like 1980 when you're in high school. You're like,
Jenna
this
Jameson.
is cool, maybe. But yeah, exactly.
Jenna Jameson, that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Yeah, I can't watch acted porn. It's the worst, man. Like, They're just actresses and actors. I don't get it at all. My friend Brian, you know Brian, like 6 times a
Yes.
day he's watching that shit. He likes, like, the rabbi porn, like when the rabbi has action with like somebody in the congregation.
Of course he does.
What is wrong? I mean, I'm not here to judge, but I don't get it. But you know who's big into porn? I mean, big.
Rob Veno?
Rob Veno. Yeah.
I don't
I'm
think so.
surprised, Rob. I'm surprised you're taking a break right now.
Jesus Christ, Prez. What the hell was that? Oh, my God. Happy New Year to both of you guys. Glad to be here on the year-end Friday edition of WagerTalk.
So can you
Today.
name a porn star? I'm not letting you off the hook here, Rob.
I could name a porn movie from back in like 1978.
I can only name one.
What's about?
I can name one. My friends made us. When we were young, like 13, we had the VHS tape. A guy got this porn. We were all excited.
Yeah.
We sat as a group of kids, like 10 of us, in a room watching our first porn ever together. It was called 8 to 4. It was a spoof on 9 to 5, the movie. I'll never forget it. But yeah, Rob, Debbie does Dallas. Taboo. Taboo was big when we were young. Anyway, why are we discussing this?
God knows. Get into some sports, please.
Robert, how have you been doing, man? You're killing it in the NFL this year. Congratulations. What else is going on?
Yeah, it's been good, Prez. Yesterday, a slip up in college football, but the bowl game season has been tremendous for me. NBA, despite the ins and outs, the fluidity of rosters, that's been good too. So overall, I've spent some time amongst the leaders at WagerTalk on that board each and every day. So hey, I'd look to continue it through into next January. Hopefully this weekend goes really, really well. I think we've got some good spots here.
Excellent. Well, let's start right off the bat with Arkansas, Penn State. How are we betting this game?
Well, I'm going to look at the Arkansas side, guys, and let's just start with the massive line movement in this game, right? Penn State opens 4, Arkansas is now 2.5, 6.5 point move. My power ratings indicated that this game should have opened at pick, so I understand maybe value guys picking that 4 all the way down. And the rest of it, of course, is due to Penn State opt-outs. And what we've seen in this bowl season is teams that have been hit by massive opt-outs, especially if they're in one area of the team. Those teams have been getting destroyed. For Penn State, that applies here. They lost 3 of their best defenders for this game, guys. Opted out 2 top linebackers and their team captain, strong safety. Combine those 3 guys, 245 tackles. It's a lot of tackles to miss against a team like Arkansas that's going to be very, very physical on the offensive line and in the run game. So I think that makes a difference here. Both teams' top wide receivers opted out here. Maybe they negate each other. Jahan Dotson on one side, Traylon Burks on the other side. So that's probably just a neutralizing factor. I'm going to get into real quick here the Penn State run defense, which I think is a key in this game. It hasn't been as good as you would think all season long. Obviously, overall statistics can skew some things. I'm going to revert to teams that can run the ball against Penn State, Wisconsin, Auburn, Illinois, which really can't. Well, I guess that's what they do best, run the ball. Ohio State, Michigan State, all of those teams. Michigan only got 144 yards, but the rest all got 161 plus. Illinois, 357. Arkansas runs for 217 a game and 5 a carry. I think there's some real opportunity here for Arkansas to control the line of scrimmage, especially with top 2 linebackers missing and strong safety. As I mentioned, they account for a lot of tackles here. Other than Bo Nix, Penn State didn't play a dual threat quarterback who can run. I think that's a problem here. KJ Jefferson, his size and speed, he can run. Bo Nix was the one guy, as I went through game logs, that I could find that's a legitimate dual threat that Penn State played. And Auburn ran for 182 in a Penn State whiteout, stripe out, whatever they called that game. And Auburn probably should have won that game. So I think the dual threat quarterback works here. Let's go to the other side real quick. Penn State's been miserable running the football all season long. can't run the football. I don't think they'll run it well here. Arkansas is not the best run defense in the world, but Penn State's only averaging 107.3 per game, 3.1 a carry. Now, Sean Clifford can move, and he'll probably complete some passes here, but I agree totally with this line movement. I think Arkansas is at least a field goal better. Brent Pry, the DC for Penn State, is gone. Took the Virginia Tech head coaching job. I'm going to play Arkansas, Sam Pittman and company here. Barry Odom to devise a good defense. Arkansas minus 2.5.
So my only question for this one, Rob, has to do with these two respective conferences. The Big Ten so far in bowl season, making everybody money, winning games. The SEC so far in bowl season, losing everybody money and losing games, with the exception of South Carolina. It's been a bad bowl season for the SEC. Is this a scenario where even though the Big Ten teams are making everybody money and the SEC teams are losing everybody money, this is just one of those where you got to flip the switch on it, even after a big line move? How worried are you about the two relative conference strengths?
Yeah, generally, Teddy, I like to take each team's game as a separate entity and not, lump sum conference versus conference. Although yesterday in watching Tennessee, I have to admit, I got loose on Twitter and kind of ripped the SEC for what they've done. But I think there's a motivational factor here for Arkansas. And I didn't like what I saw out of Penn State, the final game of the season against Michigan State. Remember that game? Michigan State came in off of the embarrassing Ohio State loss, I think when they had a chance to slip into the 4 playoff team scenario. And they entered the Penn State game extremely beat up. Kenneth Walker running on one leg without top 2 wide receivers. And Michigan State still lit them up and won that game. So I don't know where the motivation is here for Penn State, although it's a New Year's Day bowl game. I'm going to try Arkansas in this spot.
Rob Veno, everyone. Rob, it's New Year's Eve tonight. You got anything special going on?
Actually, under the umbrella of special Prez, it's not often that in this household we get both of my sons in the home at the same time, and they are both here. So in that regard, it'll be special. Got both my boys here. My youngest, who's getting married in May, has his fiance here as well. So I'm sure we'll find a way to have a good time amongst ourselves here. So for me, that's special.
Yeah, there's a saying in Toronto: if you're having a wedding or a bar mitzvah and you want to get your kid a lot of money, you invite the Prez. Just a saying, just one of those things. Anyway, I got 2 daughters, both tested positive yesterday for COVID. My New Year's is now indoors. Both my daughters are quarantining in the room. I had nothing to do, so I brought up a topic at the beginning of the show, and well, now I have something to do.
Yeah. Have fun.
Rob, Alabama game, baby. You're on the total in this game. Adam Trigger is going to take apart the side. Teddy's like, how am I doing these shows with the Prez? I need a new host. I get it, Teddy. Respect, a lot of love. Rob, handicap this one for us.
Well, I like the under, guys, under 57.5. It's not often that word comes out of my mouth, under. But I like it here. Maybe that's a small boat. I'm not sure. Let's just start with Nick Saban and his motivational ability. To watch Will Anderson, the star edge rusher for the Alabama Crimson Tide, actually go to the press conference and say that Alabama's the underdog in this game is comical. But on the same token, it's very, very much like Nick Saban. He's got his defense believing that they're underdogs to this Cincinnati offense. I think that plays well for the under here. I think you got a motivated defense. But there's a few reasons here, guys. I think the Alabama play calling, remember, the recency bias always sticks in people's heads. Alabama threw the ball all over Georgia. Oh, they're going to come out slinging. They're going to score a zillion points. But I think the play calling might change in this game just because those two teams are different in regards to defensive strength. Obviously, Cincinnati, extremely strong secondary, arguably one of the best in the nation, especially on the corners. Alabama down. John Mechie, 96 receptions on the year, led the team. Brian Robinson, their number 1 running back, who was not healthy for the last 2 weeks, now healthy for Alabama. All those things, to me, parlay into Alabama's play calling leaning towards the run in this particular contest. That should help the clock move a little bit here. It should help avoid the number of big plays that we saw in the Georgia game. I also think Alabama is going to feel like Cincinnati hasn't really been leaned on defensively by any offensive line like Alabama's. And if you check the schedule, obviously it's an AAC schedule since he plays. They probably haven't been leaned on by anybody. Notre Dame's their one claim to fame. Let's get to, can Cincinnati move the ball against Alabama? Their offensive line and quarterback Desmond Ridder are about to be really tested. I'm not sure their ground game ever gets untracked against this front seven. I'm not sure that their pass protection holds up for a full 60 minutes against this pass rush. It's been a problem of Alabama's for the last 4 years or so to stop dual threat quarterbacks, legitimate ones. But boy, the last four they faced this season, as far as running the football goes, which I hear a lot of analysts predicting Desmond Ridder will do today, last four haven't done a thing against Alabama. Matt Corral, 3 yards rushing. Hendon Hooker, 27 yards on 13 carries. And some of that is sack, right? 13 carries. Some of those are sacks. KJ Jefferson, 13 for 22 yards. Bo Nix, 0 yards rushing. I don't know that Desmond Ridder is going to get loose in scramble situations or anything. There'll probably be a spy there. The comparable game, and again, recency bias, guys. If I go back 2 games ago, I saw Auburn destroy Alabama's offensive line, 7 sacks worth. Game goes 22-21 in 3 overtimes, only 43 points. I think that game is comparable to what we might see here with Cincinnati. The concern I have, real quick, where the under is concerned, is the Arkansas game where Alabama played KJ Jefferson. Yes, they shut him down rushing the football, but Arkansas is not a team that's known for having 300-yard passing days, and he threw for 358 in what was an absolute shootout. I'm going to treat that as a mirage more than the norm and play this thing under 57.5. I think it probably lands about 54, 55.
Rob, that is some serious balls. I mean, I got to be honest. Like, you look at this, and I understand that Alabama defense is crazy. But, I mean, Alabama, they scored over 50 points alone twice in their last 6 games, over 40 points 4 times in their last 6 games. Cincinnati has scored 56 and 52 themselves in their last 10 games, 48 against SMU. I mean, I know the defense here is rock solid, but Alabama can put up the over themselves if they wanted to. Huge balls. Teddy doesn't agree. I don't care. Robert Veno, outstanding work. What do you got to promote?
Well, I'm going to promote today's college bowl games. One best bet up and available right now. There is a secondary play up and available at WagerTalk.com. I'm also going to promote 5% bowl game of the bowl season, which will be up as soon as we conclude here. It goes in tomorrow's action, New Year's Day. So lots of college football, guys. The NBA will go up later today. Obviously, those who play the NBA know it's kind of a wait-and-see prospect with the NBA now. It's hard to recommend to clients anything until 2 hours, 1 hour before tip-off. So NBA will be up, but college football up and available right now, WagerTalk.com.
Robert Veno, everyone. One of the best there is, Rob. Have an outstanding New Year's with your children. As a dad, I think that's pretty much the best way you could spend New Year's. So enjoy, my brother. Thanks for everything. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown, Adam Trigger, Andy Lang. I went 2-0 in the daily presidential address yesterday, won both my plays. Booyah on a 9-1 run. Stay tuned for that. Dan, cue up the commercial.
Now you can enjoy the happiness of the holidays for the next 6 months by paying less and making more money by getting 180 days of picks from your favorite handicapper at a huge discount. This limited time Christmas special gives you a 90-day all-access pass with a handicapper of your choice at WagerTalk.com, plus an additional 90 days of all-access passes at no additional cost, an $849 value. This comes out to just under $5 per day, includes all sports released and any 5% best bets, normally priced at $35 each. Your access with your handicapper will cover NFL through the Super Bowl, college football through the national championship, any NBA and NHL action, including playoff games played during Access and the start of the MLB season. Plus, if your handicapper does UFC, soccer, tennis, or any sport, yep, it's included. Happy holidays from everyone at WagerTalk.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. And let's talk some college hoops that is about to tip off. In fact, it tips off at 2 o'clock Eastern time, 11 a.m. here at the left coast, here on the left coast. Our good friend Steve Merrill is at the game today. He was excited to hear I was going to be talking about William and Mary versus Northeastern. And we've seen a bunch of Northeastern money come in the last hour right now. It was 9. Now I'm seeing basically 10s across the board for Northeastern as road favorites against William and Mary. The concept here is really simple. All right. These aren't two teams that I can tell you every player and what they do. I can tell you about how the betting markets work. All right. William and Mary opened the season going 0-11 against the spread and losing straight up as well. They just won straight up in their last game as 16-point underdogs against Hofstra. That was a conference game, and it wasn't fraudulent. They played defense. They never trailed by more than 6 points. They won the rebounding battle. They overcame a 22-12 turnover disadvantage, and they won. And now they got another one. Early start game, not a normal time, not an easy time for the road favorite to get there. But here's a team, and the series-wise, not a one-sided series. The Tribe have won 2 of the last 3 meetings, including last time on this floor. So here's a team that was god-awful, overpriced from day one, showing signs of life. That's your buy sign. Plain and simple. This isn't a let's back up the dump truck and put a bunch of money on William and Mary. No. But this is how you take the potential for this is a team that's undervalued and I want to ride them for a few weeks. Let's start with today. William and Mary plus the 10. If it cashes, maybe we'll roll it over to the next game and the game after that. After going 0-11 ATS to open the season and then winning straight up as 16-point dogs, the Tribe just might be worth a look in this one. But that's not my only big game breakdown today. I've got a We got to do a bonus big game breakdown on the last day of 2021 because we got to make a number. All right. Last year we made the number. I believe it was 2021 minus 140 against 2020. And I think the favorite cash there. 2021 wasn't as bad. Certainly wasn't a great year. But now we got to make a line 2021 versus 2022. So what do we see in 2021? Oh, inflation's going now. We have COVID running rampant. Games canceled everywhere in every sport. It wasn't one of my better betting years, to put it mildly. We got citizens hating each other, civil war brewing in the U.S., the doomsday glaciers collapsing in Antarctica. My father-in-law passed away, and I'm only making 2022. This time I'm going to make it minus 150 chalk against 2021 is what's the better year. All this shit could easily get worse. Plus, we have an election. I'm going to have a better betting year. That's the only reason this year is chalk as much as it is. But 2022 versus 2021, only minus 150 for this better. There's your big game breakdown this year versus last, or next, I should say. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy, wow, didn't even know you were going to do that. Look at you. Anyway, Brent, Peyton, any deals on yearly subscriptions? Would love to get VR for all of 2022. Brandon, we're on it. Email customer service, please. They will 100% take care of you. Of course, we have deals, man. We always have deals.
They have the great deal
Teddy,
that they're advertising. If you watch the commercial at the top of the, what's it? You get 6 months for $8.49, I think it is. It's a ridiculous deal that they're giving it away.
But
that's a deal to take advantage of. You can take advantage of today.
They can do a whole year deal for you. Just email customer service. Before we bring Adam Trigger in, Teddy, Well, firstly, sorry about your shitty year, and I'm positive this year will be better.
What do you make the number? You're positive. Give me a number.
Plus
minus 200,
plus
minus
money.
1,000.
That it's better, minus 430. Minus 430. The same number that Carolina Hurricanes were last night against the Montreal Canadiens. Minus 430. Guys, make sure to hit that like button. I'm on a 9-1 run. You want to hear some NFL plays? Hit that like button. I got a bunch to give out in the daily presidential address. Teddy, real quick, I just want to give out a promo for me. I got a 5% play for tonight's college football game. 5%er. I'm killing it in those. I've been doing 3 years now, just so consistent with them. You guys can use the promo code CFB20. As well, Teddy, 2 people asked us if they should middle the Green Bay, Minnesota game. Both of them got minus 6.5 for Green Bay. Now with Cousins out, you could get Minnesota at plus 13. Man, that is a sexy middle. That crosses 7-10. What would you do holding a Green Bay minus 6.5 ticket?
I would wait to see if I could get a plus 14 before I tried to middle it. No urgency.
If you got the 14, you would middle it?
I don't know, but I would think about it.
I wouldn't.
Certainly.
So my answer is I would not middle it. The bottom line for me, guys, and we've been through this in the past, is I don't middle anything. I mean, if I'm on minus 6.5 with Green Bay, I'm 6-7 points better than the current marketplace. That's what I want to be. I want to be 6 points better than the current marketplace. I don't want to screw that up.
The only time you're going for the middle is when the new line is an overreaction, not the old line was an underreaction.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. So yeah,
the new line is bad because if you're laying 6.5 and the line is now 13, you've got a 60% wager in your pocket, 60% plus. You don't want to give a chance to give that back on a coin flip.
Yes, exactly. Adam Trigger joining us, and Adam, Andy Lang had a bet with you last week. I don't even know if you knew about it, but basically in a nutshell, he feels like you take 15 minutes and you leave him with 5. You liked the Arizona Cardinals last week. Andy came on and said, if Indy wins, you get 5 minutes and he gets 15. You know what I have to say to Andy? Screw that. Too bad, Andy Lang. It's not my fault. What?
He did win that bet because the Cardinals did not show up last week. So I can go a little quicker. I can go a little quicker and get him.
Dude, it's all good, man. Andy has like a million freaking shows he does. He can take his 3 minutes. Georgia, Michigan, everybody in the chat room and Puck Time today on the show today. They like Georgia. Jessica is worried that everybody likes Georgia. It's held, though, at minus 7.5. What is Adam Trigger like?
See, now, I didn't get the vibe that everyone liked Georgia. I mean, other than maybe on the show, because I'm looking at like tickets and money count, and it looks like Michigan is one of the kind of more square dogs of the bowl season so far. I don't know how that's going to play out today, but I'm definitely seeing a lot more Michigan tickets than I am Georgia tickets, and I disagree with that. But you know what? I got to go back to the beginning of the season. I've been on Georgia since day one. On my first episode of our Hustle show on Wednesday nights on WagerTalk TV, I gave out Georgia at 8-1 to win the college football playoff this year. And instead of hedge today, I'm going to put more on Georgia, and I'm going to lay the number because that's how much I like Georgia here. Georgia's a 4% play for me. I haven't added it yet. I'm going to add it as soon as I get off the show. But bottom line is I'm just not a big believer in Michigan. I know Georgia didn't play the toughest schedule this year, but they didn't play a tough SEC schedule. Their schedule, if you put it up against a lot of other teams in college football, not that bad. It's Clemson, Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, Florida, and Tennessee. They won all those games, and then they played Alabama. They obviously lost to Alabama, but that really wasn't, that was probably as anticlimactic of a championship spot that you could get for Georgia, knowing that they were going to be in the college football playoff either way. Michigan played one ranked team until they beat Ohio State. That was Michigan State. They found a way to blow that game. Obviously, nice win over Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh, it only took him like a half century to get a big win at Michigan. I don't count Iowa as a big win, even though they were a ranked team. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is going to get two big wins in the same season here. I just think Georgia's far superior, giving up less than 10 points per game. In my opinion, Georgia's elite. Michigan is not. I think that's how it's going to play out today, and I think Georgia's going to win by 2 scores.
So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Rob Veno a few minutes ago. So far in bowl season, you're betting Big Ten teams, you're making money. You're betting SEC teams, you're losing money. Period. Hasn't been close. Big Ten has proven so far in bowl season that they are, and again, it's not, bowl season's not done, but if you've been blindly betting on Big Ten teams and blindly betting against SEC teams, you made a fortune already. Does that concern you for this matchup with the Big Ten being better than expected and the SEC being worse than expected?
No, not even a little bit. And here's the reason why. One, this is a playoff game. This isn't a bowl. So I think that's important to note. Yes, it is. They're going to tag it as a bowl. But this is a playoff game and go to the national championship. I think the reason you're seeing SEC schools perform poorly in the bowls is I think the SEC collectively feels like they're sort of bigger than some of these lesser bowls. So you get to, I just think we're seeing SEC teams not really show up in some of these lesser bowl games. Let's see how the SEC performs today and tomorrow. Before we sort of say, oh, okay, well, the SEC is just a fade in bowl season. And then secondly, I just don't think, I don't know. For me, that's like, it's just too much of a generalization. Like I look at each game. I don't really care what the conference has done during bowl season, because what the conference has done, in my opinion, doesn't have any bearing on like what Georgia's going to do today. So yeah, not a concern for me.
Well, let me ask you a second follow up of that, because you talked about how good Georgia's been and all this great statistical profile. Everything Georgia's done is come against these SEC teams that are stinking here in bowl season. So when we look at Georgia and their season, we say, wow, they beat this team, they beat that team, they blew them out, they blew their doors off, but these same teams are all losing here in bowl season. Whereas Michigan, you're like, they only played one ranked team before beating Ohio State. And yet, when you look at the teams Michigan beat, they're all hanging tough in bowl games, winning bowl games, et cetera, et cetera. Is that, a non-fact? I mean, I know I'm coming back at you a second time, but I was surprised at your answer the first time. So I guess I'm giving you a chance to correct your course.
No, I think
thank you. Look at that.
Bowl season is so random. Like at this point, you get to the bowls, half of these teams have guys sit out, coaches are different places. So I think I look at the regular season. I still think the body of work that Georgia produced is more impressive than what Michigan's done. Now that these teams with a month to prepare, and a lot of teams having guys sit out, like I almost like there's too much of randomness to like bowl results to look back, like to look in the same season and be like, okay, well, the SEC is doing well in bowls or Big Ten, like that. To me, it just doesn't matter. Like these are basically exhibition games. There's 2 real games in bowl season, and they both play. There's actually 3. 2 of them are today, and then there's 1 a week from now when we decide the national championship. The rest, we're basically just betting exhibition games. So I'm looking at what these teams did during the regular season. What Michigan did during the regular season was blow a game to Michigan State, managed to beat Ohio State, and then play a very average schedule. While Georgia, I feel like they dominated some pretty solid competition. I just think Georgia's so much better. And I could be wrong, but I've been right about Georgia all year, and I'm going back to the well with them one more time today.
Yeah, and add keep in mind, Teddy went to Michigan, so he's hating on you right now. Feel free to go as much into Andy Lang's time as you want. Cincinnati, Alabama, brother. 13.5 out there. Look, if I wasn't a bettor, I would be cheering for Cincinnati. To hell with Alabama. I'm sick of them, but I'm a bettor. So what do we bet?
So I'll go quick here because I want to give Andy plenty of time today. I'm not going to make. I won't have an official play on this game. I thought all week I was going to jump in with Cincinnati. I still think that's the way I would play it. I know, there's been some sharp money on the under. We just had a sharp guy on this show a few minutes ago, Rob Veno, say that he liked the under. So I think Cincinnati getting all those points sort of correlates with that a little bit. Long story short, I think Cincinnati could hang around. They're efficient in the red zone. They're very solid defensively, especially in the secondary. I agree with Rob. It's probably low scoring. If scoring's at a premium, I got to think 14 points can hold up. But the betting is like more split on this than I expected it to be. If we were rolling into today and it was just everyone was on Alabama, I might be willing to go, against that and take a shot with Cincinnati. But it's actually looking pretty. It's looking like the betting's pretty split in this one. Yeah, and it's just I don't know that I like Cincinnati enough to take to bet it with a like a 4% play or something I would give to my clients. So in this one, I'm going to lean Cincinnati with the points, but Georgia minus 7.5 will be a client play for me, 4%.
There you go, guys. Adam Trigger, 4% play on Georgia, given out for free here. Add at 100 miles an hour. What do you have to promote?
Yeah, so actually going in an hour, I have my second 5% college basketball play of the season. Tips off at 2 p.m. Back-to-back college basketball winners. And yeah, this is a one I like quite a bit, and it goes off at 2 p.m. today.
Well, awesome stuff. Adam Trigger, everybody. Teddy, I'm 9-1 in my last 10 picks on the daily presidential address, and we still don't have 100 likes. How should I feel about that?
Remember, we had this issue when you have a holiday like today. There's our viewer numbers.
We have 330 people watching this show right now.
Yeah, but they don't like you.
330. I mean, it's plummeting because Andy Lang's coming on.
They're watching for Lang. They're waiting for Lang to come on before they like.
Yeah, and you know what they're really curious more than anything is, does Lang like porn?
Watching it right now on the other screen.
Watching it right now on the other screen. That's me. Do you like the amateur one though, or is it the actors? You like the hot actors or just amateur people?
I haven't met a category I haven't bonded with, Prez.
That is brilliant, and that is the line of the day. Andy Lang joining us, everyone. Also, Brant, who asked about VR, our fearless leader Johnny D said email in, just like I told you. So, Andy, my friend's really into the I don't know, but it's customer service. I'm guessing customer service at WagerTalk.com. I've never emailed them. Is that
there
it?
There you go. I think so. Yeah, or service at WagerTalk.com. Yeah. It'll get there.
Andy, my friend swears by the rabbi porn, so I don't know if you've experienced that category, but you should check that one out. I guess I don't know why. Like with the payas, it's called payas for all the people who don't know the thing, the sideburn thingy. Anyway, should we move on?
Sure, let's do it. But no. Buckle up. I'm taking my 20 minutes. Let's do this.
Okay. Well, feet on the table.
I know that Adam was breaking down national college football championship playoff games, but the people want to hear my breakdown of the Giants team total under. That's what brings in the viewers. All right, let's do it. I've got some NFL props for everybody. Teddy, we're going back to fading the vaunted Baltimore Ravens pass defense. We're going to fade him with Cooper Kupp this week. I like Cooper Kupp over 106.5 receiving yards. Kupp has gone over this total 4 straight games. He's gone over in 8 out of his last 10 games. And this week, worst pass defense in the league. Secondary is just completely banged up like no other team. And another thing to keep an eye on with this game, just the Rams do not have a lot of depth at running back. They've got Sony Michel, and everyone got very excited seeing Cam Akers back, but reports are coming out that he's not going to play. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So I think by default, the Rams are just going to be throwing a lot, and Kupp is going to be the benefactor of that. He has 13 or more targets in 3 straight games. I will say this. Don't play this right now. Keep your eye on the weather. There is a storm front that could be moving through. So wait, put this one on the back burner and check the weather before game time. But if it looks like it's going to be clear skies and decent weather, you're going to play Cooper Kupp over his receiving yards. Next, this one's quick. Giants team total under 15.5. They've scored 13 or fewer points in 5 out of 6 games. Mike Glennon has gone 2 straight games without throwing for over 100 yards. I think Joe Burrow did that in 3 quarters, 3 separate quarters last week. The Bears are not a great defense, but they can at least slow down the run. I would not be surprised if Saquon Barkley plays very little in this game. I don't know why the Giants would put more wear and tear on that body. So take the Giants team total under 15.5. And we're going back to the gift that keeps on giving. Jalen Waddle over 6.5 receptions. I think I mentioned this on every show, but it's such a great play. Easy cash on this last week. The number was 5.5. This week it's going to be 6.5. So he's had 8, 9, 9, and 10 catches the last 4 weeks. He's averaging 10 targets a game the last 9 games. These are really short yardage completions. They're high percentage completions. They're hard to defend. And he's just been absolutely tearing it up. And I love these short passes. They're not great for yardage props, but they are fantastic for receptions props. So Cooper Kupp over receiving yards, Giants team total under 15.5, Jalen Waddle over 6.5 receptions. I'll give you a bonus quick little NBA prop that goes off here at 3:00 Eastern. Domantas Sabonis under 19.5 points. He's had 16 or fewer points in 5 straight games, 1 of 12. For 3-pointers recently, and the Pacers are going to be without some of their point guards. It's going to be a messy game for Indiana. He looks disinterested and doesn't want to be in Indiana. He said that. So look at Sabonis under 19.5 points. So that's what I got for you guys today.
So, Mr. Lang, I agree wholeheartedly with Waddle over 6.5 receptions. I have no argument with the Giants team total under 15.5 on what's likely to be a pretty miserable day at Soldier Field as well, weather-wise. But I got to ask you about Cooper Kupp. When it comes to the concept, I get it. Ravens secondary stinks. LA's going to be chucking the football around. But at 106.5 receiving yards, is there value in that number? Is that one of these deals where you're going to, if you get there, it'll be at 108? That's my question for you. Value at 106.5 for Kupp, or are we just riding it until it dies?
I think we're riding it till it dies. I've got his game log here. 109 yards last week, 136 before that, 123 before that, 129 before that. And they're just lacking weapons in the passing game. I mean, you look at it. Kupp had 109 yards last week. The next best receiver was Tyler Higbee with 41 yards. So Kupp is just getting open, and Stafford and him have an absolutely incredible rapport. And the books keep pushing this line higher and higher, but it's just not out of range yet. I think we're firing away on it once again. So it's a high number, but the numbers don't lie. We're taking the over in that one.
It is worth noting, as we speak, money coming for the LA Rams. Lamar Jackson, who practiced earlier in the week, I guess did not practice today, and we're seeing a big line move towards the Rams right now, -5, -5.5, from a number that was sitting at -2.5, -3 at the open.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing on that, Teddy, is I think it should be going in the other direction. You hear Lamar Jackson isn't playing? Bet Baltimore. Anyway, I got a quick question for you, Andy and Teddy. I got 2 questions. I know we're up against it. Don't care. It's New Year's. We're going to midnight tonight. One of our listeners wants to know Survivor, Bears straight up, Saints straight up. Those are his 2 choices. New Orleans -6.5 versus Carolina. Chicago -6 versus the New York Giants. Andy, really quick, which way would you go?
I would go the Bears. The Giants are just absolutely miserable right now. Not that Carolina is lighting the world on fire, but if you're looking at just an outright win, I would go with the Bears.
Teddy?
And unfortunately, I would go with the Saints. So we're not going to help you if you listen to both of them. And again, it's a crying call between the two. I can't ask Chicago to win it. The Saints at least are playing with passion, and they have a defense.
I agree.
And the Panthers are every bit as bad as the Giants, if not worse. And Taysom Hill's likely to go this week. And that
I'm with you, Teddy. I'm with you, Teddy. I will break the tie. I would pick New Orleans. Andy, I got to ask you before you run. You mentioned Cooper Kupp over 106, which is so hard to comprehend that we would make that bet, yet you listed that he's
106 and a half.
Talking.
You can get hooked on that.
106 and a half. It's not the point I'm making. Anyway, bottom line here is Aaron Rodgers minus 175 to win the MVP. We are having a historic season from Cooper Kupp. He's plus 2,200. We're having an historic season from Jonathan Taylor. He's plus 7,000. Matthew Stafford can set TD records. He's at plus 5,000. Brady at plus 600. I mean, is Aaron Rodgers really that much of a runaway at minus 175? What would you do here with this MVP future?
I just wouldn't bet anything at all. I know there's hype on some of these other guys, but Derrick Henry had like a historic year last year. What did he have? 17 touchdowns, 2,000 rushing yards. He got 0 votes. So just get all the skill possession players out of your head. I just don't bet this type of prop, especially this late year. I just don't find any value in it.
Yeah, I just found it really amazing, Teddy, that Aaron Rodgers was so far ahead of everybody else when, I mean, he's not having a historic season by any stretch. Anything to add there, and then we'll move on?
I would have no bet on that. I'm surprised the number on Jonathan Taylor. But when you talked about Derrick Henry last year, and I didn't realize he didn't get a single MVP vote, but maybe that stands out a little bit. Did he really not get one MVP vote last year?
I don't think he got one first place vote.
I got to look that up.
Andy, go watch your porn. Get out of here, brother. Happy New Year. Have the best night. Party hard for both Teddy and I because we're old men and past our prime. It's time. Let's go. Daily Presidential Address. Well, let's start right off the bat with TCC, Total Customer Care. A listener in the chat room writes, your NFL breakdown turned my year around. Speaking of which, the NFL Presidential Address is up right now at WagerTalk.com. No, you can find it there, but you can also find it at our YouTube channel, WagerTalk TV. I got some free picks to give out for you guys. I do want to mention that my best bet record on the NFL Presidential Address, I give 3 plays out a week, 31-16. If you guys are not listening to the NFL Presidential Address, I'm assuming you don't like the NFL, which is completely reasonable. I'm not here to suggest that NFL is better than cricket. You do your thing, do your thing. I also want to wish everyone an absolutely awesome New Year. Thank God 2021 is over. If you listen to the big game breakdown, Teddy has 2022 at minus 150 to be better than 2021. I put it at around minus 430. So let's have ourselves a much better year than last year. I'm on a 9-1 run in my free picks on this show. Last Friday, I gave you 3 NFL plays. They all won. Today, I got 2 for you guys. Let's start right there. I like the LA Chargers. They're minus 6.5, but we have seen a 7 on tap. So if you were going to be betting the Chargers, I would bet them right now. I also like the New England Patriots to go under the total. So that's New England and Jacksonville under the total in NHL tonight. I like the Washington Capitals and Detroit Red Wings to go over the total of 5.5. What a show. What a year. Teddy, it is always a pleasure. My friend, have fun tonight. Take us home.
Yeah, I'll take the Teddy under midnight. 11:59.5, take the under on how late I'm going to last tonight. But that's going to wrap it for the entire year. 2021 in the books for WagerTalk Today. We'll be back again next year in 2022. See you guys, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern on Monday. Between now and then, be safe, have fun, enjoy the games. Good luck this weekend.
Andy Lang has been with WagerTalk for 2 years and has crushed bookmakers in golf and auto racing, picking up 65% in profit in golf and 36% in auto racing, increasing his clients' bankrolls by an incredible 101%. There are over 40 golf tournaments and 50 auto racing events to wager on in 2022, and Andy Lang is offering a special on both sports for a limited time, saving his clients over $1,100 versus the retail price. Purchasing these golf, NASCAR, and Formula One selections on an individual sport and weekly basis would cost you over $1,500 from January 6, 2022 to August 28, 2022. But for a limited time, you can lock in all of these releases, including rare 5% best bets for only $3.99, coming out to just $1.70 per day. Just go to Andy Lang's homepage at WagerTalk to lock in this amazing golf and auto racing combo offer.